Hi, my name's Joe from privatechefworld.com, and I'm absolutely delighted to be cooking in this amazing showroom today. It's the showroom of Handmade Kitchen Company in Bishop Stortford. We've got some amazing range cookers from Wolf that we're going to be using today, and I'm also going to be cooking some really superb meat from the Luxury Meat Box Company. We've got a lovely rack of pork today, and we're going to do that on the griddle on the Wolf stove and finish that off in the oven and have some lovely roasted apples to go with that. Okay, first things first is the meat. We've got a lovely rack there. If you wanted to do this for a Sunday roast, you could use the whole thing. Today we're actually going to make it into pork chops. So if you just cut through the bone there nice and easily, got that ready. We're going to do 2 today because I'm feeling hungry. Okay, so we've got 2 ready. And I'm also going to show you a really good, easy chef's cheat tip. It's brining the meat and it makes it really tender, full of flavour. It does take a little bit of time, but it's absolutely simple. I'm going to make the brine first of all. So we've got just plain water in there and salt. Really easy ratio, 10:1 salt to water. So we've got the water, just put the salt in nice and easily. If you wanted to, you can add whole spices, maybe some coriander seeds, star anise, black cardamom pods. That adds a really deep flavour to it. It's absolutely amazing. You'll be really amazed. It's so much better than just seasoning the meat and cooking it. If you leave it overnight, it actually, through osmosis, it soaks the flavours of the brine into the meat, and that just adds such a tender juiciness to it. So we're going to put that straight in there, and then nice and simply put it in the fridge overnight. Okay, so the pork has been soaking overnight. This is one I put in yesterday in the lovely Sub-Zero fridge freezer there. It's an absolutely amazing piece of kit. Fit everything in there, like a professional kitchen. Okay, so the pork has been brined for 24 hours now. You can do it for 4 or 5 hours if you want to, but overnight is absolutely perfect. It's taken all that lovely flavour and tenderness and juiciness from the brine. I'm just going to put that on just a little bit of kitchen towel. You can use a clean cloth if you wanted to, just to get that excess moisture off from the pork itself. That's going to help it to crisp up nicely then. But just imagine all the flavours in there, they've been soaking into the meat, going right the way in, as opposed to just seasoning it normally with salt. You just get a little layer of seasoning. If you do that this way, it's all the way through the meat. You'll taste it in every single bite. Okay, so we've got the griddle really nice and hot, really smoking hot. This is going to sizzle. Really nice and hot on this really good Wolf stove. Listen to that. It's perfect. Barbecue any time of the year with one of these Wolf range cookers. You see that smoke coming off? Now the key to cooking with these, to get the really appetizing bar marks on there, do not move it. Once it's on there, keep it on there. Don't move it around, don't wiggle it, don't try and move it. It's actually quite converse the way you do it. It won't stick. The more it cooks, the crispier it gets, the less likely it is to stick, not the other way around. It's only going to stick if you try and move it before it's actually properly charred. I'm just going to see if there are some really amazing bar marks on there from that griddle. Oh, look at that. Absolutely perfect. Now, it doesn't just look nice, it adds so much flavour. It's just like a barbecue outside. It's so amazing, this piece of equipment. So I'll put another 5 minutes on this side, and then we're going to finish it in the oven for another 5 minutes. Right, as I've been saying, this amazing piece of equipment is just like an indoor barbecue, and to cope with that, we've got a bespoke twin motor hood by Westin absolutely brilliant. If you've ever been to a Turkish restaurant where they've got the inside barbecues, it's just as good as one of those. Okay, so we've had 5 minutes on either side of the pork. It smells absolutely delicious. It's making me so hungry. And we're going to finish that off in the oven. But before it goes in the oven, just one last little chef's cheat. Butter. Just a nice piece of butter on each of those amazing pork chops, straight in the oven. That's just going to add more and more flavour and tenderness. Okay, such amazing meat there from the Luxury Meat Box Company. Shouldn't be messed around with. Good meat like that really should just be enhanced and kept really, really simple. So I'm going to do something really classic, not apple sauce, but a much nicer alternative. Got some amazing British apples here, lovely and seasonal. I'm just going to quarter those and take the core out. And then just nice chunky slices to go with that really nice pork. Going to be really nice balance. You've got the sort of fatty richness of the pork, and this is just going to cut really nicely through it. You've got a lovely sort of sweet and sour flavour with some nice rich butter, nice little bit of savoury seasoning. It's going to go so perfectly with that meat. Let's check, see how it's getting on in the oven. Okay, another feature of this Wolf range are the pull-out racks within the oven. So yeah, you can see the butter melting in, basting all over the pork chops there. Look at that, amazing. Okay, I'm just going to say a little bit about these brilliant knives from Wolf Cook Shop. They are absolutely amazing. It's the first time I've used them. I normally like Japanese knives. These are actually made in Germany, and they are just as good as anything coming out of Japan. I mean, the ones in Japan use sort of samurai sword technology when they're making them, but these are absolutely brilliant. They're so sharp, absolutely accurate for anything you want to cut. They really are good. Got this really lovely serrated knife here that will literally go through anything. And you probably won't really need to use this very much because they're such good quality. They're going to stay sharp for months on end. But if they do go a little bit less than perfect, then you've always got that to sharpen. And they're like razor blades. They are absolutely brilliant. Highly recommended. Okay, so the pork's been in the oven now for about 5-7 minutes maybe. Just going to check that, make sure it's all okay. Just feel the quality of those doors. It's like being in a professional kitchen. It really is. I mean, just by touching it, you can feel how amazingly well built they are. Check these out. Look at that here, that sizzle. Oh, they look amazing. Right, I'm just going to baste that a little bit with the butter. That's turning nutty brown now, adding so much flavour. Wow, you can tell the quality of the meat just by looking at it. It's so firm and tender. It's amazing. Okay, so I think we're done now. So one of the secrets, one little chef's tip, is to rest the meat for as long as you've cooked it. So it's been in the oven for 5 minutes, and we're going to rest it for at least 5 minutes now on the plate. What that does is relax the fibres in the meat and just adds another layer of tenderness to the cooking process. So yeah, just leave that in a nice warm place next to the oven is fine. It's not going to cook anymore now, just the residual heat. Imagine if you'd just been put in an oven, your muscles are going to tense up. It's going to be horrible. So it comes out of the heat and it just all relaxes. Juices redistribute around the meat and it just adds that excellent flavour and texture to it. Okay, so we're going to do some apples to go with that now. Put a little bit of fresh butter in with all the roasting juices from the pork. Put those apples in there, lovely. So you've got all that savoury flavour from the meat, together with the fresh zinginess of the apples. It's just going to be such a lovely balance to those pork chops. Got a little bit of salt and pepper as well, just to season them up. Just a touch, not too much. Remember, you've got all the flavour from the pork chops in there. And even the pans are made by Wolf, and they are, you can just tell the quality of them. They're just so rock solid. Okay, look at the caramelisation there of the butter, the meat juices. Those apples are just going to go so well with those pork chops. Oh, I wish you could smell this as well. It looks nice, it sounds nice, but the smells are amazing. It's just going to be so good. Okay, we're ready. The apples are cooked, the meat is rested. Let's plate up and taste it. Okay, when you've got pork this good quality, is this amazing, it doesn't have to be cooked absolutely thoroughly all the way through. It can have just a little tiny touch of pinkness. It's not rare or medium, but it has got like a little tiny touch of pinkness in the middle. It just keeps that juiciness in there. When it's that good quality, absolutely fine. Look at those amazing caramelised apples to go with the pork. You could, if you was doing this in the summer on one of the Wolf built-in barbecues, you could do this with peaches or nectarines. They'll be really nicely in season then. Probably not so traditional as apples, but it'd still be really good. You could barbecue the peaches or nectarines and they'd go perfectly with an amazing piece of pork like that. Okay, so there you go. We've got some amazing griddled pork chops from the Luxury Meat Box Company with some lovely caramelised English apples to go with it, and perfect combination. Okay, so look, if you just come and see, you can see how juicy that meat is there. There's no dryness whatsoever in there. You've got a lovely layer of fat that you get with all good quality meat. That's helped to keep the meat really juicy. You've got the brining, which has helped to keep that lovely and juicy as well. Just look how glistening and moist that is. It's absolutely amazing. Let's have a taste, see how it goes. It's really rude to say how good your own food is, but when meat is that good, you can only compliment the people who produced it, and the equipment used to cook really is top notch. Okay, so as you can see, there's not too much left. I think someone even ate one of the bones from the pork chop. It was that good. It really was top notch. Absolutely amazing meat, amazing equipment here at the Handmade Kitchen Company in Bishop Stortford. The ovens are absolutely top notch, so come down, have a look, and you won't go away disappointed. They really are good, best in the world, without a doubt. I'm Joe from privatechefworld.com, and I've been cooking for you today. It's been an absolute delight, an absolute pleasure, and hope to be back soon.